And he's sitting there in his new response saying, oh, I think my content stands on its own. Your content is just Reddit posts, bro. Your content is Reddit posts, or whatever the most upvoted Gizmodo article on Reddit that day is, repeated poorly by someone who can barely speak the English language. Despite, as far as I know, that being the only language he speaks. I don't think he even speaks anything else. But, based on the stuff that people get their careers ended for, this seems to fit the bill, no? Dude, Mutahar is actually gay as hell, isn't he? This guy fruity. It is the low IQ, I'm trying to get money out of you. What do I have to say to get money out of you type of mentality. Guys, we have huge new Mutahar developments, okay? Absolutely massive new Mutahar developments happening. So, Muta has finally responded to some of the discussion of his engineer claims in this latest video. So, it really is a kind of blink and you'll miss it response that he makes here. It's very quick. It's very quick. So we're going to take a look at his latest video, see what he says.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar.
I need to skip past a little bit because this.
Imagine this will hit the entire world. Now YouTube's pretty much engineered, I would say, in their mind, it seems a pretty foolproof way of isolating kiddies from adults. Now I use the E word over there, and I want to just start talking a little bit. I know there's been some drama, and I want to kind of address things here really quickly. So obviously, I have been calling myself an engineer, in some cases a programmer, a cybersecurity engineer, whatever you can call it. And, you know, I apparently have also been a dropout, which I don't hide. Now, obviously, me being a dropout, I don't have a degree, so I'm not a certified or licensed engineer. Now, I made a lot of videos in the past.
So he's not even being clear here. What if you really wanted to actually address this and put this to bed? If you actually gave a fuck about addressing it, you would say what is true. He hasn't said what is true. Like, why are you calling yourself an engineer, right? Like, what is the basis for that? What are you using to claim that? Because if you're just a dropout, if all it is you did one semester at college, dropped out, and you've been calling yourself an engineer because of that, then that would be crazy. Right? So what is true? Is it truth? Is that the truth? That it was one semester at college, you dropped out, and you've been calling yourself an engineer the entire time? Because he's still leaving room for this, like this job, right? This job that he claims he had in high school that is like the real basis for why he's calling himself an engineer. But that is being left open. That's being left open. Like, he's not admitting that he doesn't have any ground to stand on here, you know? He should just be coming out and saying, yeah, so I did a month of this job while I was in high school, and I did a semester of college, and I dropped out. I wasn't ever really an engineer. That's what you should say. But no, he's not saying that. He's saying, oh, you know, yeah, I've always said I was a dropout. I'm sorry if you felt misled. It's not about feeling misled. You misled people.
Taught you guys about computer safety, cybersecurity, a lot of this stuff, and I think that content stands up on its own. And I believe it actually can be used, you know, and people have learned from it. And I think that's great. Now, if you feel offended, if you feel wronged that I called myself an engineer while not being a degree-holding engineer, then for that, I do apologize.
You're not an engineer at all.
Denigrate myself to, you know, I guess, programmer or a fat Indian guy that knows a bit about computers. I
don't even think you're a programmer. What programming jobs have you held? What programming jobs has Mutahar worked? Why are you saying denigrate yourself to programmer? I don't even think that's fair. I don't even think you're a programmer. You're a programmer in the sense that anyone who's like done a few weeks of like online JavaScript courses is a programmer, right? That's the sort of programmer Mutahar is. What programming do you do? What fucking programming do you do? Installing fucking emulators on a Raspberry Pi? That's probably the closest to programming you've ever got on Mutahar. Let's be totally serious here. Like, what have you actually done? Like, tell us. Have you got a GitHub or something? You're a programmer. You've got a GitHub, surely, right? People can see the basis for this.
And that's pretty much all I have to say. Now, again, if you want to stick around, awesome. If you still feel wronged and this does not suffice for you, then, I don't really give a fuck. Simple as that.
So, dude.
Now, again, that being said, if anything else comes out of
imagine if anyone else pulled this. If Muta criticized someone and they lied and said, I don't care that I lied, he would be making 100 videos saying, report this guy to Engineers Ontario. Everyone reported that. He would be making 100 videos saying that, like he did with Camden Gerard, the completionist Davis, you know? So that's his response. That's his whole response. It's just, yeah, I'm lying. I'm a liar, and I don't care, by the way. Except he does care, because he took a whole fucking week off. And you can't act like it doesn't matter at all, like it never mattered in the first place, because it mattered enough for you to lie about it. Right? It doesn't work like that. You can't lie to sound good, and then be like, oh, it didn't matter in the first place. Well, it mattered to you! It mattered to you! There's a tad bit more towards the end of the video. Whereabouts?
Keys, they can difference people. Like what my future is too. And I'm not saying this is, but, you know, it really makes me wonder, like, what my future is too. And I'm not saying this is like I'm retiring right now, but I wouldn't honestly say expect a video even tomorrow, or expect a video every day. Because my time on the internet, me personally, given changes in my life from the internet, it is what it is. And I would rather focus on, you know, a part of life that isn't being invaded by the government and it isn't being invaded by third-party companies. Because I really do think that what we're seeing now is just sort of the start. I think the internet is going to look a lot different in a year. And I think that literally is going to happen because I think a lot of people that have been used to the anonymity, that have been used to it being one of the last frontiers, that's going to be taken away. So for me, you know, I don't know. I'm not to ever completely retire off the internet, but, you know, if I decide to fucking log off and focus on fucking other things and ventures that aren't being invaded by the government and third parties, that might be where I want to go down to, okay? That might just be the future. You know, honestly, like, this whole, like, what's been going on with governments and everything has been one of the most mind-boggling things to see. And I feel like everyone wants to fight back, and everyone is trying to fight back. But every time people do try to fight back, these agencies, these governments just say, yeah, we heard you, we also just don't care. Like, hundreds of thousands of people...
So it sounds like he's implying that he's not going to be uploading as much. Sounds like he's saying it's because the internet's changing. But it feels a bit more like because he's getting a bit more heat. He's not as well liked as he was a few years ago. It's a little bit more difficult to bring yourself to upload when it's not all comments saying, oh, Muta, we love you, Muta. Instead of people going, sir, I'm an engineer, sir. When those are your comments, it's a bit less encouraging to upload the next day, I guess. So that's the latest Mutahar video. But we've got far more to go over. We've got loads more to go over, guys. Okay? Because there is a new... Guys, there's like... So, we've got a new Nikandros video about Mutahar. We've got a two new harmful opinions. I'm pretty sure I did get to the legal action part. He said let some lawyers handle it. But he's not... Again, people like retarded. I'm sure, Kathy, you've got the retarded interpretation of this, or you're trying to spread it either way. Where you think that he's threatening to sue Nikandros or something like that, but that's obviously not what's happening. He's saying if Engineers Ontario or Canadian law enforcement will ever take any action over his use of the term, he will use lawyers to defend it. He's just saying, you know, if I did break the law, then I'll hire lawyers, I guess. That's all he's saying.
Welcome.
So guys, we have a new Nikandros video, two new harmful opinions videos, and a new Salvo video, okay? All about Mutahar. Huge, huge things. Huge things.
I'm Nikandros. You may have seen my previous video. Mutahar's been a fake engineer for 10 years. The video's been way more successful than I ever expected. I assumed it would simmer in the background for a month before I released my big video, but it blew up instantly, and Mutahar has responded. In the video, I exposed Mutahar for giving inconsistent statements about his educational background and qualifications. Did he go to university for computer engineering or computer science? Did he drop out after a semester, or does he leave it open to leave his audience to conclude he graduated? Sometimes he'll talk about STEM degrees while claiming to be an engineer and therefore biased in favor of them, despite the fact that he has no such degree.
Is it bad if you don't get a STEM degree? Look, I'm gonna sound biased as fuck, but STEM degrees all the way. I'm gonna sound biased because, you know, as an engineer, like, you know, you want to get the degree that's gonna get you a job, you know, a good job. Not saying other degrees can't, but like, you gotta be smart.
If he wasn't trying to be deceptive, why didn't he say, I don't have a degree, but I'm still an engineer? By the way, it does seem to be the case that merely holding yourself out to the public as an engineer is a violation of the law in Ontario where Mutahar lives, as Professional Engineers Ontario, a self-regulatory body, not a random engineer labour union, has fined a politician in 2016 for introducing himself as an engineer on television when he wasn't a licensed engineer. Do note that this person used to be a fully licensed engineer, degree-holding professional engineer, but because he was no longer licensed, he lost the right to call himself an engineer. There is no jail time for breaking this law, only a fine if you refuse to cease misusing this protected title. Despite admitting at points that he was a former engineer, that he was a dropout, Mutahar was introducing himself as an engineer as recently as June of 2025.
I feel like a doctor trying to explain like how fucking medical procedures work as an engineer telling people that AI is like...
And at times, he leaned on these credentials to sound more authoritative. I also constructed a timeline which demonstrated that Mutahar has been a former engineer for a decade. He was getting a videography diploma, he worked as a video editor, but in 2019 he began calling himself not just an engineer, but a computer engineer.
See, like, where can the engineering job possibly be? Turns 18 in 2012, so somewhere in here has to be the engineering job, right? It has to be, like... He has not had an engineering job as an adult. He references a pen testing job he had in high school that he got through connections. I don't know if I even believe that. I don't know if I believe that at all. So, why is he not just saying exactly what happened? It's so fucking frustrating. Hassan gaped him. Dude, it's so funny that Mutahar wants to act like, he's like, on the whole H3 train, he's like epic and based and hates the commies. And he's like, on Destiny stream, sucking his dick. But then Hassan messages Mutahar and is like, oh, Muta, can you help me set up my Steam Deck? And Muta immediately gets on the phone, being tech support. Fucking tech support for Hassan Piker. And then you want to act all cool in public. You want to act cool in public, pretending that you're like on the base anti-Hassan wave, on the epic pro-Israel wave. And you're like, you're actually just a total bitch. You're actually just, the moment this guy wanted something, you were bending over.
For a decade. He was getting a videography diploma, he worked as a video editor, but in 2019 he began calling himself not just an engineer, but a computer engineer. Note that he has never called himself a software engineer. A computer engineer isn't some Canadian English version of a software engineer. It's a much more hardware development-focused engineering discipline, closer to electrical engineering. Mutahar does not display this kind of knowledge or skill in his content. It took him months to switch the batteries on his fucking smoke detector. He's been calling himself a computer engineer for a decade because of computer work he did in high school. He claims to have done penetration testing, that he's a cybersecurity expert, that he does network security.
Yeah, see, I just don't believe this. He claims basically every single like epic and cool internet profession that you could claim, Mutahar claims. Penetration testing, he's, oh yeah, I'm a hacker. I'm like Mr. Robot, I'm a hacker. And he's like claims to be a day trader. So yeah, you know, I get on the NASDAQ. I'm off by noon. I'm off by noon. You know, buying large commodities and relisting them on the market. What others has he claimed? It's like he picks like the most insufferable, obvious LARP professions, like self-made man type online professions, and just lies about it. Yeah, CEO. Reverse engineering console. Dude, it's just like, he literally picks the most, like, obvious bullshit fields.
And that he was coding bank applications as a high schooler. He claimed he would have made a lot of money in these fields, but also that it was a dead-end job. Is there any proof that these jobs were ever real? Is there proof that his globe-trotting video engineer career was real? I don't know. According to further research by Harmful Opinions, Mutahar called his work blue-collar computer programming before he switched to calling it engineering in 2015.
Dude.
And that term stuck with him for 10 years, misleading millions of people into perceiving him as far more qualified and educated than he was. Others have pointed out that he used his credibility to smear Mama Max as having possessed child sexual abuse material, bestiality, or animal abuse videos.
The video that you would have to be hashed by the FBI or any of these agencies as actual child porn. And it would...
No, it wouldn't. I don't know where he's saying this. He literally just read a Reddit post.
There was no proof of this.
Standard Mutahar moment. Average Mutahar moment. Common Mutahar moment. Yeah, why are you sourcing dickers for real? Why the fuck are you sourcing dickers? But that is like, just all of Mutahar's shit is just like grabbing tech stuff off of Reddit and repeating it in his videos poorly. And he's sitting there in his new response saying, oh, I think my content stands on its own. Your content is just Reddit posts, bro. Your content is Reddit posts, or whatever the most upvoted Gizmodo article on Reddit that day is, repeated poorly by someone who can barely speak the English language. Despite, as far as I know, that being the only language he speaks. I don't think he even speaks anything else.
The only reason he was believed was because he was perceived to have these high credentials. Mutahar's initial response to my video was to ban the word engineer from his comments. When that didn't succeed, he stopped uploading for a week and went quiet on social media.
So at this point, you know, we're about like a week into not crapping, right?
He did private a video which Harmful Opinions covered in one of his videos, and he wiped an entire channel of podcasts he used to do with his friends, meaning that he was following this quite closely behind the scenes. Now he's back, and he's made a 2-minute response buried 3 minutes into a random 32-minute video. Let's see it.
Now, YouTube's pretty much engineered, I would say, in their mind, it seems a pretty foolproof way of isolating kiddies from adults. Now, I use the E word over there, and I want to just start talking a little bit. I know there's been some drama, and I want to kind of address things here really quickly. So, obviously, I have been calling myself an engineer, in some cases a programmer.
Oh, yeah, he can speak French with a gun to his head. Dude, I forgot that. He claims he can speak a little bit of French if you put a gun to his head. So crazy. So crazy.
Programmer, a cybersecurity engineer, whatever you can call it. And, you know, I apparently have also been a dropout, which I don't hide. Now, obviously, me being a dropout, I don't have a degree, so I'm not a certified or licensed engineer. Now, I made a lot of videos in the past where I've taught you guys about computer safety, cybersecurity, a lot of this stuff, and I think that content stands up on its own. And I believe it actually can be used, you know, and people have learned from it, and I think that's great. Now, if you feel offended, if you feel wronged that I called myself an engineer while not being a degree-holding engineer, then for that I do apologize. And I will denigrate myself to, you know, I guess programmer or a fat Indian guy that knows a bit about computers. That's what I'll leave it at. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Now, again, if you want to stick around, awesome. If you still feel wrong and this does not suffice for you, then I don't really give a fuck. Simple as that. Now, again, that being said, if anything else...
anime shirt. It is. It is an anime shirt.
...comes out of this, you know, whether there be some legal stuff, then
I'm guilty.
Lawyers handle it, and we'll call it at that. But that being said, I want to move forward, and that's pretty much the engineered response that I had to give.
I ended my video in a pretty melodramatic phrase. The only power I have is the one you give me when you lie. That was my awkward, cringy attempt at conveying to Mutahar in a brief and concise manner that as long as he keeps lying, all he does is hurt himself. He had the choice of telling the truth, but once again, he's misled his audience about what happened. He is betting on them not knowing anything about the situation, and he's omitting massive amounts of context in an effort to mislead them. He's been, among other things, misappropriating a protected title for a decade to come across as more authoritative to his audience. He's been lying to them for 10 years.
Now, if you feel offended, if you feel wronged...
Every little thing, from the visuals to the word choices, is him dodging accountability and attempting to downplay it. Hey look, I'm in on the joke, ha ha ha. Look at these videos where I'm looking at code and computer code looking things. I must be pretty advanced.
He's literally pirate software. This is 100% pirate software behavior. Look, guys, there's code on the screen. Look, guys, there's code on such a tech guy. There's code on the screen. It's so absurd. It's so fucking absurd. And he thinks he's so fucking smart too, man. It is triggering. It's deeply triggering. Deeply, deeply triggering.
Apparently I'm a dropout without any higher education that an engineer would have. I don't know why that's relevant. He claims he doesn't hide it, but this bitch has called himself an engineer like 70 times, while he's revealed himself to be a dropout like 5 times. Your audience doesn't see all of your content. If Mutahar believed that was true, he would be smart enough not to lie like this in the first place.
Now, I made a lot of videos in the past where I've taught you guys about computer safety, cybersecurity, a lot of this stuff, and I think that content stands.
I'm sorry for any inconvenience caused, sir. We are currently working on resolving your issue, sir.
Thank you, that guy 66 for the $4.99. Thank you, huge appreciated.
Anime shirt.
Okay, man.
Unbuttoned flannel. Long hair. Constantly EP. Plays old games. Not beating the British transbian allegations. Pensive.
This Tetris person is actually a groomer. This is like a groomer. This is a groomer account.
Ends up on its
own. With $5.
And I believe it actually can be used, you know, and people have learned from it. And I think that's great.
Claiming that people have learned from his content is an incredibly low bar, and not something that was contested in the first place. If you like to use the brush tools in Photoshop, did you know that by holding down Alt and right-click, you can move your mouse to change the size and the hardness of your brush? Congratulations.
Well, I didn't watch Chud's Roblox segment today. I didn't watch it. I haven't seen any of that.
Thousands of Photoshop users watching this video just rushed to open the software in order to try that trick. People have learned from this video, but I don't need to call myself a graphic design engineer or someone working in TV and film to woo an audience. If I made content that I believed stood up on its own, I wouldn't have to inflate my credentials. So this is a nonsense statement.
Me being a dropout, I don't have a degree, so I'm not a certified or licensed engineer.
His phrasing here implies he is still an engineer, just not a degree-holding engineer. What engineer are you then?
Yeah, exactly. It's leaving it ambiguous. What have you done that is engineering? You haven't done any engineering, Mutahar. No one fucking believes you. You claim this one job, pen testing, which is obviously made up. I'm sick of pretending any of these things he's saying even have a slight hint of truth to them. You were not a pen tester. You're a fucking liar. You were not doing ethical hacking or any shit like that. You heard about that on Reddit and thought it would sound really fucking cool if you told people that's what you do. Further, you did go to film school, but you never worked on any actual productions. You did exclusively student films. I don't know any of this to be true, but this is how I'm interpreting the facts I've been presented. You did no actual work on real films. You did exclusively student films. You might have edited for other YouTubers, but primarily, since you were 18, you have been doing YouTube as your main career. Whether it's after you dropped out from your first semester of college, or whether it's through doing film school, after film school, whatever, that whole time, YouTube was your primary career. YouTube was your primary career all the way through at least 2021, where in around 2020 you were claiming to be a day trader and shit. You might have gambled a bit on the stock market, but you never actually significantly day traded. That was never your occupation. You never made any significant money from it. You may now be involved with either your family's property management company or have started your own asset or property management company that you might make money from now. But all the rest of it is complete bullshit, and very obviously so. Anyone that's not retarded can tell it.
10 years of bragging about it in public, making it our business, you should be able to tell us, where did this come from? What are your credentials? What work have you done? You believe in open source software, you call yourself a programmer. Where's your GitHub? What contributions have you made in the past 10 years?
Yes,
then
exactly.
He tries to kill.
Post Git. Exactly. Mutahar, you're a programmer. Post Git. It's that fucking simple. Someone's claiming they're a programmer. Very easy way. Every programmer I've ever known that is worth shit.
To dress up for a woman like for a day, then for 7 months straight after that? It would be pretty funny, ha ha la mow.
Thank you for the $5, Jimberly. Thank you. Even if they have a whole lot on their Git, they've got one. And there's something on that. They've got something to show for the time they've spent coding. So where is it?
He'll trip people by saying he'll denigrate himself by calling himself just a programmer or a fat Indian who knows a bit about computers. He could have said that he was insecure in his youth and used the word engineer without knowing it was illegal to feel better about himself. Then that claim kind of stuck around and he was too embarrassed to admit that he wasn't one. It would be so simple, but Mutahar cannot ever admit to having made a mistake, or at least take responsibility for it. What do you think makes you come across as a likable man of...
He's a tech hobbyist at best. He is a Reddit power user. That is all Mutahar has ever been. Is a fucking Reddit power user. He goes on r/all and repeats the most interesting tech news he sees that day poorly. He filters it through his own lack of understanding of anything related to the field and poorly repeats what he's heard on Reddit, oftentimes getting key details wrong. That's what he does. Because he's not a programmer, he's not an engineer, he is a slow failson. He is like a retarded slow failson. That's what he is.
Of character. Someone with the footing to judge others, as you have done for years.
I'm kind of the fucking aficionado of handing out these reality checks to a lot of things.
Is it by being a coward who lies all the time, shifts blame, and never accepts their fallibility? Or is it by being someone who takes the blame for their mistakes, someone who knows their limits and speaks the truth? Do you believe your audience is entitled to the truth about who you are? Because they will only trust you as much as you trust them. They will respect you as much as you respect them. Now they've realized you're full of shit.
I was full of shit, literally, like I was full of fecal matter.
And what's your response?
If you still feel wronged and this does not suffice for you, then I don't really give a fuck. Simple as that.
This behavior is not really to your benefit at all. It benefits your critics, but it especially benefits me. Now a large chunk of your audience and the public knows you're full of shit. And it's not that hard anymore to convince them that you've done this exact thing before. Dear viewer, did you feel confused when Mutahar came out with his video denouncing Nuxtaku? Did you feel he was overreacting? That he was distancing himself from him pretty hardcore relative to his actual points of discontent? Well, that's just like what happened here. Mutahar omitted massive amounts of context, because if he told you the full truth, he would have to admit that while he was eager to attack and condemn creators like Eva Chris Tyson for being fans of a lolicon artist or for having kids on a Discord server with porn on it, he was running cover for and defending someone who turned that into their entire content model.
Forgive me, Lord, but I did it. Please forgive me. Stop sending Gentai. Why? I already lost. No, not November. Half of my class saw Aqua's butthole on my screen. To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
That's a post from Nuxtaku's subreddit.
Half of my class?
At the time this video was made, the OP of this post was a 12-year-old child.
Dude. 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 Bro. And that's just in Nux's video, dude. Was it in that last Nikandros video that there were those stream clips of the like Nux media share shit where he's being sent videos of his kid fans? Was that in the last Nikandros video? I think so, right? It's so crazy that this is so widespread with Nux. Shit like this should actually be, like, career-ending by any pre-existing standards. Well, I'm not even saying I'm that, like, up in arms over it. But, based on the stuff that people get their careers ended for, this seems to fit the bill, no? When you're, like, actively bringing up these messages that are from, like, 12-year-olds. And, like, you can pretty easily interpret half of my class You know this is high schoolers. Like, there's a chance it's university, right? Well, I mean, it's not even high schoolers. It's middle schoolers. But you know this isn't university, really. Like, there's a chance. But you know realistically it's not. But you put this in your video anyway. You didn't delete this from your subreddit. You let this continue. You were just, like, encouraging the participation of 11 and 12-year-olds in your fetish and your hentai shit.
When this video was made, the OP of this post was a 12-year-old child. They were not a one-time poster, and they were not the only extremely...
Like, yeah, and reward... Dude, not a... Dude. 160 results on their fucking Reddit page, not a one-time poster, and you're rewarding them by putting them in a fucking video too. Dude, it's so gross. Holy fuck.
Young child that was involved in this community focused around adult content. There's plenty more material to cover in my bigger video, but let me tell you this. Mutahar was notified about this stuff in a confrontation almost exactly a year ago. What action did he take? Nothing. Because if the truth came out, he would look bad for being so close to Naxtaku. This guy is sitting here telling you that the government needs to stay away from the internet. It's so horrible when people are forced to verify their age on social media. I know it's annoying. I know it's frustrating. And I know it can be used for information control, mass manipulation, censorship, blah blah blah. But I've seen what it looks like when these man-children self-regulate. What it looks like when they are holding each other accountable. And what I mean by that is that they don't. They are 100% willing to prioritize their career, income, and their ego over the safety of children on the platform. But that's a story for the bigger video. Some people have unfortunately gotten the idea that I'm going to expose Mutahar as some kind of a pedophile. That is not the case. He's not refusing to call this stuff out because he secretly condones it. He is simply just that much of a total bitch, afraid of any controversy, with a chance it might stain his reputation. A worthless, spineless pushover. Somehow, his actions in this situation were even more pathetic than pretending to be different kinds of engineer for a decade.
That's facts. That's hard. That's facts. Well, totally agree with that video. Great video. Another banger from Nikandros there. I'll link it. Now, we have some harmful opinions videos to go over, and then a salvo video, okay? So we're going to finish the Mutahar content. We're going to catch all the way up on the Mutahar content. So we're going to go backwards with the harmful videos, because he uploaded a video, and then he unlisted it, and uploaded an apology. So we're going to get the apology first. We might even compare it to Mutahar's apology. In fact, while we watch it, we can think about how it compares to Mutahar's apology that we just watched.
This video is going to seem like a joke, considering it's the first thing I've uploaded since Mutahar's response to recent drama, but I assure you it is absolutely not. I'd like to apologize unreservedly to Mutahar of SomeOrdinaryGamers and Ryan of Nexpo, as well as you, the viewer. This video has not been prompted in any way by any third party. I just decided this evening to check for information in a couple places I didn't, and it turns out I screwed the pooch. I went full retard. I did exactly what I would tear someone else apart for. I got a few pieces that seemed like they fit together, and instead of continuing to check and make sure, I boldly threw what I had out there, and even laughed at other people, when this time, I'm the joke. A link to my previous video with corrections in the description can be found below, but I'll summarize the problems here to try my best to correct what I've done wrong. I shared a clip of Mutahar talking about making out with his friend Ryan at his friend Kyle's wedding while he was in a relationship with a woman who was unhappy about that happening. I also shared a clip of Mutahar talking to Ryan of Nexpo about making out or potentially sucking his dick because he is so blackout drunk he won't remember it. Okay. Confirmation bias got the better of me. I went, okay, light bulb, that's the Ryan. However, having taken more time to look into it,
so guys, harmful opinions here is apologizing not for accusing Mutahar of sucking dick, not for accusing Mutahar of sucking dick in a way that would make his wife upset, not for accusing Mutahar of making out with Nexpo, but specifically for accusing Mutahar of sucking Nexpo's dick and pissing off his, at the time, girlfriend in the process, or whatever. Okay? That did not happen, guys. Mutahar did suck dick. He did make out with Nexpo. His ex-girlfriend was upset that he was being gay, but it was not Nexpo's dick that he sucked. It was a different Ryan. He sucked a different Ryan's dick and made out with Nexpo. No girlfriends were upset about the making out with Nexpo. The making out with Nexpo was totally above board. It just, Mutahar simply sucked a different Ryan's dick, okay?
Which I should have before publishing a video. I no longer think that's clear, and think there may be a different Ryan, who I found mentioned in older videos. Additionally, I said I suspected Kyle's wedding where this gay cheating occurred was a 2019 wedding that Mutahar had mentioned.
Okay, Kyle's wedding was not in 2019, okay? Just to be totally clear, this is before 2019, Kyle's wedding.
In a video. This is absolutely not the case, and Kyle's wedding occurred in 2017, further supporting the idea that the Ryan Mutahar made out with while having a girlfriend may not have been Nexpo, unless Mutahar knew him somehow before he started doing YouTube, which I haven't seen to be the case. Additionally, I showed a clip of Mutahar talking to Dr. K about a girlfriend he'd had who was supposedly terminally ill, having end-of-life care with serious heart conditions. I suggested this could have been the girlfriend he had at the time of Kyle's wedding, but now that I've found that details of Kyle's wedding actually are online, and it was in 2017, that must be incorrect. An absolute embarrassment. I don't know what I was doing not putting in the time I needed to, and I again apologize unreservedly to Mutahar of SomeOrdinaryGamers and Ryan of Nexpo. I'm not sure how likely it is that either of you will see this, and I don't expect forgiveness given how intensely I went at and have been going at Mutahar, but I am genuinely ashamed of my lack of due diligence in this instance.
Wow.
Of course, actions speak louder than words. To demonstrate my remorse and my understanding of how badly I've failed here, not just with regard to the two public figures I've wronged, but also my duty to you, the audience, I will not be covering any further developments in this or anything to do with SomeOrdinaryGamers beyond looking at other coverage on stream, because given my terrible performance in that previous video, I don't think it's reasonable to expect anyone to trust me when I publish original coverage.
See, this is a little bit different to Mutahar's apology, isn't it? It's just a little bit different in tone, a little bit different in structure.
It's good to check things yourself and you shouldn't trust blindly, but that's not the reality of how people watch YouTube. Trust is a major factor. I've been presenting myself in a way that I simply didn't live up to in that last video, and when someone pretends to be something they're not, it would be ridiculous and wrong just to expect everyone to overlook that. Should something worth talking about come up in future, it will have to be after I believe I've earned the right to expect your trust back. I will make no defense of my mistakes. There is no defense. It was simply wrong not to take the time I should have. I was cocky, aggressive, arrogant, and negligent. I deserve all of the mockery I directed at Mutahar in that last video, and more. And while I stand behind the videos before the last one, they cannot be weighed against these mistakes. You cannot say, sorry I did something wrong, but look at all this good I did. Oops. Good behavior doesn't buy you the right to do something wrong now and then, as a treat.
I'm gonna be real. It's just not that big of a fuck up. Like, I'm sorry, getting the wrong Ryan when you're analyzing Muta's gay exploits, I'm not really that fussed about it. Like, was he not gay with both of these Ryans? It's about how gay he was with Nexpo, right? Did you suck? He doesn't seem to have sucked Nexpo's dick. That's the key part that was wrong here, is he sucked a different Ryan's dick and made out with Nexpo. It just ain't that big of a deal, man. It ain't that big of a deal.
If anything, it only makes it worse, because it means there's a bunch of stuff that's worthwhile that your mistake undermines people's ability to trust and want to engage with. I present myself as competent and having an eye for detail. I talk as if I'm better than those I'm covering, but in that last video, that was absolutely not the case. It might come across as weird that I'm saying so much and I'm not trying to self-flagellate or something, but if I don't make it clear that I know everything I have to be sorry for, why on earth would you believe I'm sorry at all? Not to say it's merely about convincing you. In fact, I'm sure many of you do not care either way. You just like a video that'll give you a laugh. But it's not about you feeling offended or feeling wronged. It's about what I did being wrong. I am sorry for what I did wrong. And once again, I apologize unreservedly to Mutahar of SomeOrdinaryGamers and Ryan of Nexpo.
He's not being satirical. He even has a comment here explaining that he's not being satirical. I've seen a conspiracy theory posted that I engineered an opportunity to do an apology video on the basis that I put this together immediately after hearing Mutahar's response, that the idea of an apology starts with, this guy cheats on women with men and likely sucks dick, but I was probably wrong about exactly who and when this time is very unusual. That the apology itself can be seen as satire attacking Mutahar's apology. That I already said I was bored of this, etc. This is not correct, and those details are genuinely coincidental. What I did was simply wrong. I'm sorry. I want to make sure people exposed to that video are aware that my speculation and questions about the gay YouTuber with dying girlfriend infidelity weren't justified by the facts. I was behaving far too much like the shows I warned you I was emulating in that video. For real. 100% honestly, this isn't a joke pinned post, even though some might suspect it because of the subject matter. I didn't even realize the video ended up being 4 minutes 20 long until it was pointed out to me. Okay. So let's see the original video. Okay, let's see the original content now.
Many people would say that content like this is trash, worthless, petty drama.
So this is the 10-minute original. Also, guys, now is a great time, okay? Great time to remind you. 460 people here. 60 likes on the stream. Some of those 400 people, would mind please moving the cursor to the thumbs up and clicking it. Pressing the thumbs up on the mobile device, that'd be hugely appreciated. If you want to take support one step further, you can note directly through a stream elements link in the pinned chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat, buy a super chat, which will highlight a message or read down TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or gift that we have on the channel and subscribe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, let's get into this.
Many people would say that content like this is trash, worthless, petty drama. And in response, I would say, simply, yes. A couple years ago when I started living with my girlfriend, I also started watching the show she likes.
Thank you for the membership, thank you.
With her. Married at First Sight,
I should cut my
Love
hair.
Island, Love is Blind. And you know what? I got it. I understood the appeal, and I realized there's way more of this to be found online, unscripted. Now maybe that makes me gay, but still, certainly not as gay as Mutahar is. But we'll get to that shortly. And I'm not just saying, look at him, he's gay. Long-time viewer of the channel who I've met in real life and done nothing with, Hexathian, is also gay, and he's a valued member of the community. You might know him as the creator of the ultimate YouTuber gay sex chart. This is not homophobic content.
Dude,
this
wait,
is in fact
I've seen this shit before. The fucking YouTuber gay sex chart. Dude. Pay for the membership.
YouTuber gay sex chart. This is not homophobic content. This is in fact specifically for the gays.
Chart is on
he
that
in
chart,
particular
yeah.
was very excited to see this clip of Mutahar that I found.
Now, at the time, I was in a relationship with another woman, right? And unfortunately, what happened was me and my best friend Ryan. All right, we're talking best friend. I've known Ryan for years. We were so wasted that at some point in the night, me and Ryan started fucking making out for the hell of it. Like, we're talking tongue in mouth. We made out. We got real gay with each other for like 10 seconds. And I woke up on the couch.
His girlfriend at the time apparently wasn't very happy with this.
I was told the entire hour back when I was driving, she was so pissed at me last night.
He says last night, but he clearly doesn't mean last night now. He's just wasted.
She was like, you cheated on me with your friend. And then she laughed at me.
Ryan, the man he cheated on his girlfriend at the time with, appears to be the YouTuber Nexpo. And that isn't the only time he's talked about kissing him
we
and
gay.
potentially
We gay
doing
out
more
here.
with him while drunk.
Yeah, we gay. We gay as fuck.
Please kiss Muda.
No.
Please.
Dude.
Unless.
I'm drunk enough, dude. I won't remember this.
Dude, Mutahar is actually gay as hell, isn't he? This guy fruity.
I'll suck his dick after, I'll let you know.
Perhaps he would even suck Ryan's dick. Maybe that even happened at his friend Kyle's wedding from the other story.
And you know how, like, the first thing you do is you, like, check your lips, like, huh. Oh, shit. I did something. And, like, I'm just, like, touching my lips, like, this is a little fucking, it's like,
dude.
It felt like I had lip gloss on. And I was like,
what?
Huh?
Did you waking up the next morning feeling like you got lip gloss on? Bruh. Bro, he didn't even like a drink of water, like rinse his mouth out or some shit before he slept? You woke up with it peeling? On your fucking mouth? Like, what are we doing? This shit is nasty as fuck.
I think I fucked Ryan. You know what I mean?
Like I said, this is for the gays. I think you should know that if you have the hots for Muta, you're definitely in with a chance. After all, he doesn't regret this experience at all.
Dude, it wasn't even like I regretted it. Like, it was fucking good. Looking guy.
It's just a little joke with a friend though, right? Haha, doesn't mean anything. Here's Mutahar's take on that idea from when he was on the Kino Casino last year.
You're not really joking when you're actually doing the degenerate thing, right? Like,
wow, so true.
It's like if you filmed like gay with your buddy. It's like, no, it's just a joke, bro. Like, you know, I'm not
dude, bro. Put balls in your mouth.
I'm just fucking him off a little bit, right? Like, don't be weird.
It sure is interesting how Mutahar suddenly becomes such an epic homophobe when he's around right wingers. Yeah, when he's on his own stream, pandering to his Emily BLM audience. Jeez, I'm dying. Emily BLM audience. He's the gayest man on earth.
About it.
And again, for the gays, I'm going to spill even more tea because I know you love that. It's entirely possible that Mutahar was cheating on a terminally ill woman with a man. So 2020 is when he's talking about this gay experience in Flip with Ryan. He says the actual makeout, or possibly more. He says he was blackout drunk and doesn't fully remember. He says this happened at his friend Kyle's wedding. It's hard to pin down when that happened. I can't find Kyle saying when it was, but I can find Mutahar saying he went to a wedding in 2019.
I was supposed to go to this New York wedding, and which I did, right?
Which is the year before he told us about his gay experience. I was going to check the Cult Camp podcast.
Next time you say you're gay next time, it will make for a better sound clip.
Thank you for the $5, Scallywag. Thank you.
He did with Kyle, whose wedding he went to, for mentions of New York. But while a few days ago when I started looking into the guy, that channel existed, it has since been deleted. Possibly at Mutahar's instruction, because Kyle, the guy whose wedding Mutahar went to, has been defending him on Reddit and telling people that he's talking to him, and Mutahar says he's not going to respond. I would argue personally, however, that deleting fucking everything is a response, and it forces me to speculate and ask you to clarify, because to me it looks like it probably was. In 2024 you described that wedding as having happened a few years ago.
This photo is actually from my buddy Kyle's wedding. All right, this happened like, I want to say, a few years ago at this point too.
And we know it happened before that 2020 video, so I doubt it happened much longer before 2019. So I gotta ask, was that 2019 wedding Kyle's? Because if it was, I think I know who you were dating. In 2021 he had an interview with Dr. K where he talked about dating a woman who was terminally ill.
So I'm gonna jump a little bit here, okay? So what you can make sure of is that you don't fall in love with someone that acts of God can take away from you.
Right. Lord knows I made that mistake. Yeah, they're still fine now. Don't worry. Like, they have a few more years.
Everyone's
to go.
hating on my
Don't
anime
worry,
shop.
bro. It's chill. They're just gonna croak next year.
What's the problem?
Yeah, that mistake.
You know, it's a rare thing when I say something like that is like a hypothetical.
No,
Like,
no, this person has a, well, I'll tell you, this person has a POTS, so it's a tachycardia. It's really bad. They have a couple more syndromes regarding it, like long QT and everything of that nature. So for them, they have had to get like sinus node surgery modifications, so like burning on their hearts and things like that.
This all makes sense, by the way. People with POTS get ablation done.
Doctors have told, specialists who are trained in this field have started to, give up and sort of give like end of life. I have to be told about like what a DNR is, like a do not resuscitate order.
With all the issues she had, this girlfriend was apparently terminal. And when did he date her?
Can you tell me how old you were when you met this person?
I would say that I was 24. So, about 3 years ago.
This makes sense as well. In earlier 2019, he talked about being single for over a year.
Guess what? You want to know? I've been single for fucking well over a year now.
And then a bit later that year, he talks about being in a relationship.
Are you single, yes or no? No, I'm not single, Chai. I'm actually very well committed to somebody, so...
Met her when he was 24, which he would have been from 2018 to 2019. Was single, but ended up dating someone in 2019 at some point. That's our girl. And if that 2019 wedding was Kyle's, the one where you made out with Ryan or Nexon on YouTube. Oh boy. Dude. Mutahar, I'm gonna add another question to the pile. Did you break up with a terminally ill woman because you're gay and cheated on her?
It's just so unfortunate this timeline doesn't quite add
like
up.
My girlfriend's
fucked
TV
up.
shows. Like, this is sub-trailer trash shit. Jeremy Kyle or Jerry Springer would hesitate to platform this. In the 2021 interview with
Not
Dr.
harmful,
K,
though.
he told us that up to that day, he'd still tell her that he wished things had been different.
Does she know how much she means to you?
Yeah, I tell her that. Yeah, I tell her that, you know, at the end of the day, I wish.
Ashton's very gay, straight for pay on Kino Casino.
You know, they're not.
What, you wish you were straight? It's okay to be gay, Mutahar. You should probably tell your wife, though. Why don't I just ask him and clear this up, you might suggest. I've already emailed him about some stuff. I've been ignored. I'm not going to keep pestering him. That would be harassment. If he doesn't want to talk to me, that's fine. I'll just continue to ask these things publicly, because this is all public media. By the way, if you think this is crazy digging, and at the same time you want to say Mutahar's credentials don't matter because he's taught you a lot and he knows his stuff, he's a cyber and information security expert, just self-taught. There's a problem, because finding everything I've shown you took me about an hour. If you put together all the time I've actually spent actively digging, it's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops. I haven't been sitting here for a week systematically researching the guy. It's just spits and spurts of, what if I checked this? What if I checked that? If you didn't know you could do this, he hasn't taught you shit. You ever read Catch-22? If anything I'm doing is wrong, then I'm right about him misrepresenting how good he is. And speaking of Catch-22s, there's a funny little wrinkle I haven't seen people talking about. The main drama is that he's called himself an engineer for 10 years, right? People want him to come out and apologize for saying that, or assert that he is or wasn't.
So, Mutahar did suck dick. He did cheat on his girlfriend at the time. He did talk about making out with Nexpo, but he didn't suck Nexpo's dick, and he didn't cheat on his alleged terminally ill girlfriend.
Engineer. If he does that, though, that statement itself could be a title violation. Where he lives, licensing bodies have gone after people simply for saying they're an engineer, publicly. In 2016, they charged a politician for saying he was an engineer in a debate. Charges were only dropped as a result of him agreeing to make a public apology and a donation. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand how badly his hands are tied if he wants to defend himself? If he isn't and has never been licensed, he can't say he did engineering because he'd be in danger. That would be way worse than just saying he's an engineer. The guy from Ontario who claims to have an engineering background can't say he doesn't know all this, because that would prove he doesn't have a background in engineering. It's just layer upon layer of trap after trap. Like, no shit he's not responding. And if he does, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
So that's why I went to engineering, and engineering worked out.
Did it, Muta? Anyway, I don't know. I just think that's neat. I think it's really funny. Hope you do too. Have a good day. Don't imagine there's much more to talk about now unless something happens.
Wow. Awesome stuff. Kind of undercut by the apology, but hey, what are you gonna do? Oh, I've just seen a tweet go up. What's this?
Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be live on YouTube covering a bunch of YouTube drama stuff. Willie Mac. What the heck? People don't like that guy now. Mutahar, did you hear? This is a new one. Now Mutahar is gay. Now Mutahar is making out with his best friend, supposedly. Covering Mutahar, my good friend Flamenco, he's come around. Man, he's only gotten weirder. How's crazy? Isn't that crazy? Flamenco has only gotten weirder.
How's that happen?
Who knows? Ethan Klein and some other stuff tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. 1-800-BEEF. Tomorrow at 7 p.m.
I will be calling in. I will be calling in. Salvo's new show. So hope you guys are excited for that. Himpy messaged me. Asked Ryan to call in. Talk about Tommy C. Yeah, Himpy's the producer. Let's pull up Salvo's new video. Or on this.
Mutahar.
So he's got a video about Mutahar, a 15-minute Mutahar video. Okay, dude.
We are not your parents, buddy. You did not need to lie to us about your job. You do not need to lie to us about your education. We are not your judgmental, disappointed parents, man. Come on, man. Mutahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, got caught in a stinky decade-long lie about his work, about his experience, about his education. Big lie, basically about everything that Mutahar claimed to be. And it's actually a huge problem. Mutahar used his experience,
it is a massive problem.
His job, his education, to make himself more credible in arguments, to prop up his reputation, to prop up his character as one to be trusted based on, I'm an engineer, based on, I have a STEM degree, based on education, based on computer engineer, for a decade. So it's actually a super big deal, especially when millions of dollars and other people's reputations are on the line. Mutahar can't be going around for a whole decade lying about everything that he was. But here we are. He built his reputation on total lies. And that was one thing that always bugged me about Mutahar. I've had personal experiences with Mutahar. I talked to him privately years ago, plenty of times. And I always thought that he was pretentious and full of fucking shit. Always. This isn't a fallen fan video where now I have to come to terms with someone that I like being a bad person. No,
you hate him from day one.
Yeah, no fucking shit. He's a liar.
God bless.
And he's sneaky. And
everything
Take a look
at him.
Take
one look at the guy.
You can tell it's not the full fucking truth. And it's like, Mutahar, did your mom...
I just mute myself for a second. He has the low IQ, like, con man vibe to him. I don't mean that as a racial comment in any way either. It's just the way he acts, the type of liar he is. It is the low IQ, I'm trying to get money out of you. What do I have to say to get money out of you type of mentality, you know? The sort of person who very quickly ends up in prison if left to their own devices. They're not like sophisticated lies. They're not particularly intelligent lies. But he will, like a knee-jerk response, just pull them out. So Indian salesperson. See, I don't want to make it racial. I'm hesitant to compare it to anything like that. I don't want to make it racial. I don't feel like it's a racial thing. But it is sort of like, it is the scammer mindset. It is just the scammer mindset. It is just the hello, I'm from Microsoft. Like it is that mindset. It is that behavior. And especially when he clearly doesn't understand the things he's lying about either. It really does come off like that. Because your average, like, Indian scammer doesn't know fuck all about cybersecurity or antivirus or whatever they're trying to scam you over.
I look at Salvo and see Darius haircut with Noah Samson mustache. My brain is totally fried frown.
Thank you for the $4.99. And if you've ever seen like the scammer reversal things, I hate Kit Boga, but there's some other guy who does quite good videos that I used to watch. Where they do like the scammer reversal things. If you ever hear them try and talk about the technology stuff, they will, yeah, Browning. That's it, Jim Browning or whatever. They will sound retarded when they talk, much like Mutahar does.
Mom and dad make you feel so small for not being a doctor? Did they make you feel so small about not finishing university? Like, at the end of the day, that's the reality of the situation. Mutahar constantly probably grew up underachieving, underperforming.
That's facts.
And as a disappointment. So to cope with that, he became a liar.
This is facts.
Probably lied to his parents about his grades. Probably lied to his parents about the girl he's married or dating. Probably lied to his parents about, like, his job that he's currently in, right? And Mutahar went out of his way to always state and remind his audience on YouTube that he's not a full-time YouTuber. This is something that I do on the side. I work 40 hours a week as an engineer. I have my own business that, you know, I manage money and I manage property and I manage real estate. He always went out of his way to remind everybody, hey, I actually am super busy and successful behind the camera. And you just kind of naturally are like, okay, man, that's cool. That's cool. But obviously, hindsight 2020, a guy who's lying is going to have to remind himself and the audience, hey. You know, that's just kind of what happens with the lie. But you can tell he's always been so insecure. And it was also interesting. So Nikandros made the Mutahar video to kind of start everyone's eyes being woken up about Mutahar. Nikandros, he is under 10,000 subscribers, and I'm pretty sure that Mutahar videos has 500,000 views, which is super impressive. And in the video, Nikandros combs through a decade of Mutahar, claiming he's an engineer, claiming he works on film and television, claiming he's a software guy, a coder guy, and then all the contradictions. And so props to him. But I was never really like a watcher of Mutahar at all. Never really watched him, never really tried to pay attention to him, kind of always knew he was slop. Phony, always kind of criticized.
See, this is the thing. I see Lex in chat there saying, I didn't realize he was this roasted. He wasn't. He wasn't. Only insane people like myself, like Salvo, like Nikandros, hated Mutahar this time a year, 2 years ago. Only insane people. And everyone looked at us like, it was just totally crazy. Wow, Mutahar's such a chill guy. Mutahar's such a cool guy. You know, Mutahar's an engineer. He's a pretty smart guy. I think Mutahar's pretty competent. It's the sort of shit Nick the Oreo would tell you if you ever said Mutahar sucks. No, Mutahar's cool. Mutahar's a competent guy. He's smart. He helped with my homework once. Some shit like that. Yeah. The reality was, it's all bullshit. It was all fake. And Nick realized that not long after. And now finally everyone else is seeing it. Finally, Nikandros is showing it to everyone else.
Him because he rode the fence for slop. You know what I mean? Despite being a drama YouTuber, always rode the fence. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. But in private, this is my point. In private, Mutahar and his girlfriend, Dojangles, maybe wife, we don't know. The story they were telling everyone is that Mutahar actually does real estate. And he owns a bunch of 7-Elevens in Toronto or something, right? That's the story, like the repetitive brainwashing that everyone behind the scenes was told anytime Mutahar, you know, well, no, I do real estate. I actually own a bunch of 7-Elevens. By the way, owning a bunch of 7-Elevens in Toronto, that's a lot of money to just have the name 7-Eleven in Toronto. You know what I mean? It's like, I honestly always thought even that was bullshit too. It's like, oh, you own a whole bunch of real estate? You own a whole bunch of 7-Elevens in Toronto? And I think it's safe to say, I think let's downgrade that, right? We got to start like a table of all of these YouTubers and like what they claim and then like start to judge how truthful we think it is. I think we could downgrade Mutahar owning a bunch of 7-Elevens in Toronto to Mutahar works at one 7-Eleven. He just works.
He works at 7-Eleven. Good choice. Good choice.
A 7-Eleven, right? And I don't want that to come off as like
racial at all,
anti-Indian or anything, but that's the story we're told in private, is that Mutahar owns a bunch of 7-Elevens and he's a real estate guy. It's like, no, actually not.
Thank you for the 10 gifted, Jenny. Huge appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you. Come again. Thank you. Come again. Thank you for the 10 gifted, Jenny. Huge appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now, with your proven track record of a decade long, I'm actually going to claim you just work at a 7-Eleven because that seems more plausible. And Well, I understand the disappointment. We also need to look into Mutahar's parents. Because he claims that all of his family members are doctors or lawyers. And, well, if they are...
This dude is emulating Red Bar hardcore. Yeah, that's what he's always done. But we love him for it. We love him for it.
Then we can make fun of Mutahar for being such a disappointment. And if they're not, well, then we can just be like, more lies. I don't know. We don't need to do that. But that's an interesting... That's an interesting point here. So Mutahar's reputation is completely tarnished, I think, forever. He hasn't posted a video since this dropped 10 days ago. Him and his wife, Dojangles, which you might not know about Dojangles. Maybe I'll educate y'all on Dojangles in this video, too. But Dojangles, you're implicated, right? So we haven't heard from Mutahar in 10 days after this expose. Reminder, he's a daily slop YouTuber. I don't think that Mutahar will address this. I don't think there's anything that he can say other than he lied for a whole decade. And the worst part is, it's like he used his fake experience to boost his reputation, to boost his fucking credibility in arguments, takes, and in his videos. And that is a dangerous game of complete deception. Absolutely complete deception. But I actually knew all about it. A year and a half ago, I made a thread on Twitter. And let's pull it up here. Here, I will make this a little bit bigger really quick. Let's pull this up here because people don't know about this. Mutahar actually lied about being married. And I'll go through this very briefly, because this isn't about me, this is about Mutahar, but we can see Mutahar here and his girlfriend, wife, Dojangles. Now, I'm going to talk about Dojangles briefly, because it's important. She's actually important in this. So, Mutahar is a daily slop YouTuber. He uploads every single day on YouTube, talking about trending stuff, talking about YouTube drama, right? His girlfriend, Dojangles, well, she's like involved in sort of the community of YouTube. Miss Dojangles here, the bottle blonde nurse, runs a bunch of Twitter group chats where, like, if it's like she'll like add you to a group chat with a whole, like, 50 other, like, Twitter personalities and YouTube personalities, and then all of a sudden you're supposed to be nice to her because she brought you into the group chats, right? But as every needy...
No, I'm glad Salvo is saying this. I'm seeing how it all works now. I'm seeing how it all works. Salvo's blowing this stuff wide open. Now I understand. Now I understand why you're Nicholas the Oreos and co have been so nice to these people this whole time, because they're willing to sit there and be the networkers and be in DMs all the time. They've got lots of subs. Muta's got lots of subs. Everyone feels like to be nice. Okay. I'm seeing. Didn't get your invite. No, I've been openly hostile towards Muta and his wife since the moment I started streaming.
Bitch nurse needs control. She can kick you out of the group chats and spread a whole bunch of rumors. She's a loudmouth behind the scenes. What I'll get at is she's not some innocent patron here. She's a loudmouth nurse. They're swollen fucking feet in her Crocs, I bet. Walking around the hospital being such a fucking nosy bitch. She's a nosy bitch in the YouTube space. And she should be treated as a fucking deceiver and a deceptor just as much as Mutahar here. Mutahar, SomeOrdinaryGamers, lies about being married. In 2024, SomeOrdinaryGamers and Dojangles claim they were married, right? Mutta is now claiming he's married to Dojangles. Can we please see a wedding ring? A wedding pic? Proof of marriage? It's a very weird lie. The one thing I know about women is that if they get married, you will know about it. You ever know a girl who got married and you don't find out by a picture, by a ring post by anything? No. That's how I instantly know. And I have other proof, but this is like the first thing here. This bitch ain't married because there's no proof of it. There's no proof of it, right? So here's Dojangles, the bottle blonde, swollen ankles, responding to someone who's quote tweeting Mutahar being, my wife, right? My wife is a total Taylor Swift fangirl, questioning a lot right now. Muta has a wife? This guy goes, hi. And then she responds, hi, right? Because she always got to be a button because she's a nosy bitch. Mutahar has been referring to a wife since 2020. The same one, Dojangles can't find a boyfriend. Obviously, I know this is a ninja. I hate to even say this word. Copy pasta. I know that, but it still stands.
Still stands. Still
2021, Mutahar, Dojangles can't find a boyfriend, right? So, okay, blah, 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 blah. And here's more. So here is January 28th, right? January 28th. This is the same month. This is after they claim they're married. Mutahar claims he's married to Dojangles with no proof, and no one believes it for a second, by the way. No wedding ring from his stream today. Right. And it's like, again, I have a feeling Dojangles would find an excuse to argue with Muta if he's not wearing a wedding ring. And obviously, they're not married. They're not married. So don't be using the term wife and gaslighting your audience to prop your credibility up because, of course, the lying Mutahar, okay, Mutahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, has lied every year for a decade about his credibility. Do you think having a blonde American wife will give more credibility to Mutahar?
Yes.
I think so.
Yep.
And that was my whole point.
If you are the one Indian guy with a white, blonde American wife, you look like King of the Indians. Everyone can see this. Everyone can see this. You look like King of the Indians if you're the one Indian guy with a white, blonde American wife. Why is she with you and none of the other Indians? If there's any other good Indians, you know, you're obviously the best one because you're the one guy who got the white, blonde American wife. So people are going to listen to you. I feel that makes total sense.
Everything about Mutahar is a liar, a fraud, a deceiver, someone that will do anything to be in the mix with not being in the mix. Of course he's not an engineer. Are you crazy? You can't upload every day on YouTube and then be an engineer. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So let me go in here, see if I have anything else to add here. I think this could be good. So I'm going to play a clip from Nikandros' video. This is a compilation of Mutahar claiming he is a...
Okay, well, we've seen
being like on a basketball team or something. It's like that's what I would like. I might tell a lie about like scoring 50 points in a basketball game because I think that's cool. I'm not gonna tell a lie that I think is a nerd lie. I would never lie and be like, I'm an engineer. What? Wait a minute. Okay. You're not an engineer. You're not a total loser. You're just a total fucking fraud loser that lies about being an engineer. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you pick that as your lie? Mr. Computer fucking nerd? Get real. Props to Nikandros for going through a decade.
I think we've said enough of this. I think we got the point. Awesome stuff from Salvo. Great to see him back. Excited to talk to him tomorrow.